Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudos Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. Today is going to be showing you what I've been working on. I know this was supposed to be out yesterday, but I didn't get it done, so I do apologize for that. Today is going to be a bonus because I just recorded one for a new Release It Premiere yarn, as well as new colors for a yarn that they've already had. So you'll see two videos today if you watch both videos. So today again is about what I've been working on, what I'm trying to work on. I'm still working on my hooks and needles pattern from last month's box. This month I'm skipping it, so there won't be a box to show you guys this month. It is what it is, unfortunately. I do appreciate all of you who've been watching my videos. Any new subscribers that I've had, which I've had a couple in the last last week, month or so, and actually I just got a new one. I don't know who, because they didn't make it public that they are a subscriber, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'm up to 327, and I know it's going to take time because I'm not getting them out every day, and with my work and lifestyle right now, it's kind of hard to do that, so I'm doing the best I can. So again, I do really appreciate you guys that have stuck around with me even when I was gone for a while after my father-in-law's passing, and then I moved and I started back up again, and so alright, let's go ahead and get to it. So the first thing I want to show you, I have to get from down here because I was like, yeah, let's do that. There's the hook. Okay, so I wanted to make something that resembled like a muffin or a cupcake, and I came up with this pattern all on my own. I'm trying to replicate it, which is going to be kind of hard. I wrote down what I did, but I kept changing it after I started redoing it again. But I made this scarf with yarn that I got from one of the local yarn shops in Virginia, and I'll get that up close for you. So I'm naming this the cupcake or muffin stitch, or however you want to call it. I'm still deciding on which side I want to be the right side, because it is reversible. There's no like puff or anything like that. So it just depends on which side you feel is the best side. So, and I just had it here, Plymouth Yarn Company, the Gina yarn, which is 100% wool. It's 50 grams, approximately 109 yards. I used a 5mm hook, which I think is my hook that I first got with Hooks and Needles. It's a tapered hook. It's not an inline. But this is what I found worked best with this, because it is a roving style yarn where it gets thick and then thin. But I am working on a pattern for this. This is I wanted to call it the chocolate covered strawberry pattern or scarf. Muffin scarf. I haven't hit this is what I started a new thing of it, and I just have this much left, which isn't much, of the third. I had 3 of these, so it took approximately 318 yards of a roving style, and it doesn't state, and I think I did a wraps per inch on this, but because it's roving, it's kind of hard to tell. But I think the thickest point was like maybe a 4 or a very thin 4. But this is what it looks like, and I tried to make it to where the sides were even. But I'm coming up with, like, here, this side has got a smaller hole than this side. So I'm going to have to work on perfecting it, but this is the start of it. So, I really did like working this up. It was a very easy 2-row repeat, and I'm trying to make sure that it stays that way, so beginners who are looking for something like this can use this stitch if that's what they're looking for. I was at a live with Creative Grandma Glenda and her grandson Cody. Golly, Cody and Grandma's lives on Tuesday. Somebody asked about a muffin stitch, and I'm like, you know, I've already created one, but I don't know. Somebody else could have done something different than what I did. So, and there's my daughter getting in her chair. She's like, I'm to work. Mom, I'm here at work. She can't be left out there. If I'm in here and she's out in the living room, she has to come and see me. This is a very fuzzy yarn, so for a scarf was great because this is hand wash only, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, hand wash, lay flat to dry. Now, I do have a washer that does not have an inside tumbler, the centerpiece, because it's a front loader, and I never noticed that some front loaders even have that now, but mine does not. So I'm not going to attempt it with this, but I have put stuff that I've crocheted in there and it's come out fine. But 100% wool, you definitely want to make sure it's on cold, gentle cycle, like the lowest spin that you could do. Because I even have one that, there's a spot, and I haven't figured out how to turn it on where it's no spin, so it just basically soaks. So I'm wondering if that would actually be a hand wash setting. I have to figure out how to get that, but that's the first thing that I finished. And then, if you watched my Amazon video, I showed you guys a Crochet Every Way Stitch Dictionary, where it gives you new crochet if you've never seen them or heard of them, or I mean, there's got to be over 1,000. There's got to be over 1,000 crochet stitches. We just don't know them all because they're all named something different, and it could be just like one stitch pattern has like 5 different names to it. I found one called Buds and Stems, and I'm like, what yarn can I use to make this? And I found let me make sure I have that over here. Where is it? Is that it? No, that's that. Here it is. No, it's not. That's a different one. I've got too many yarn labels over here, as you can tell. Okay. Oh, there's my hat. Let me put my hat on. Let me put this on, because it'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's my hat, even though it's kind of like crumpled up here. It's okay. I made these for my mother-in-law, so it's not really my hat, but she kind of stretched them out. They're bucket hats with the pattern. Well, sort of. I went off of Crystal from Bago Days pattern for easy bucket hats, but I changed it up a little bit to change the stitch pattern after you get the crown done. I used the crossroad stitch, or I like the fork in the road stitch is what it's also called. I've noticed that there's several ways to do that stitch too. And where the heck did this one go to? I had it over here. Okay, so nevertheless, this is Premier Sweet Roll Frosted. This is Universal Yarns cotton, something cotton. And I really wish I had that here. Where the heck did it go to? This is gonna drive me nuts. Because it was here on my desk. And I know I didn't put it nowhere. Maybe I did. Maybe is this it? I found it. Okay. So this is the Cotton Supreme Waves by Universal, which is another line from Premier Yarns. And it is 100% cotton. It's a lightweight number 3. It's 3.5 ounces or 100 grams, 230 yards. And I got a scarf out of it. And if you can see, this actually almost matches the hat. Now I have a different hat that has more colors to it. It actually has the purple and the blue. This blue is a little different than the blue in there, but then it went to yellow, and then it went back to it went to red, which is where it started out as. So I made this with the buds and stem stitch, and I don't know. Well, hold on, let me show you that up close there. So, and it was a very easy repeat. It is a 3-row repeat, 2-row, I don't remember, 2-row repeat. But I'm working on kind of augmenting this. But if I decide to actually give you guys the pattern that I have, I'll just make something else with it. Well, you know, so there's that one. And I did use a 5mm crochet hook. I used, which one did I use? I used a 5mm. Let me see. I think it's gonna be the one that I had. Where did that go to? I was working on something else over here today too. I've just been busy with getting stuff worked on, but you know, never actually showing you guys what I've been working on. That's not good. I did get this from the Knitting Coop in Roanoke, Virginia, downtown. Very good price for it. It was $11.50, but it was from a local yarn shop. And I only got the one, and it made that big of a scarf. And I know I didn't weave my wet ends in. And it was all one skein. I didn't have to worry about, you know, and I would consider that a yarn eater. If you look, it's shells, V-shells is what I'm going to call that, and double crochet. So for me, it's not probably as much of a yarn eater as other patterns could be, but I'm pretty sure I used, if I'm not mistaken, I used this crochet hook, which is a 5mm. Nope, this is a 6. No, I used the other one. Hold on. That's my 6. I don't know why I was thinking that was a 5. This is the one that I used. Yeah, if I have it at the camera, maybe you can see it. That's a 5mm, and it's a tapered as well. I had no problem using this with that yarn. Now, it is a splitty yarn like most cottons are. It's not as splitty as the 80-20. That's this one, right? 80-20. Let's see. 85% cotton, 15% polyester, which a lot of companies do that for the dishcloth stuff. And this is what I was starting to work on today, where it's just the V-stitch and some double crochet. Well, shell V-stitch, that's what I'm calling it. I was trying to do it a different way, but it wasn't working out quite right. And again, this is not something complete yet. I'm probably going to be changing that up as well. And then I have the 365 days of crochet. And let me make sure that I have this the right way. I have to look at this because this, and I'll show you the other way that I did this. I'm calling this the 2-step stitch because I don't think it actually has a name. It's just one of the crochet stitches that you learn at the very beginning of the year. Now this one I will be coming out with a pattern for maybe a baby blanket for it. I also called it the little goosebumps. The little goosebumps. Okay, that one is my coffee. That's great. Got a little coffee with my yarn there. Now this I know I'm still working on making perfect edges, and when I did 2 rounds of a border, hoping that it would straighten it out, but I don't think it did. Okay, that's the right side. So I don't know if you can really see them, but there's supposed to be little bumps in the pattern. And I'm going to make this a dishcloth for my kitchen, and my hair is falling out everywhere. But I did see how it kind of gets smaller. It got wider. I mean, I didn't lose or add any stitches, so I think maybe blacking this would help with that. But I just did some simple single crochet around the border for that. And this is using the Big Twist, cotton. And I got this on clearance for 97 cents, and that was before they were doing all the bankruptcy stuff. I got this way back when, and I got quite a few of them because they had a little end cap display on the side of it, or a side end cap display, and I think I grabbed every one of them that they had. So this is the label from that one, and I started working on that other one from another skein, but I will show you here. That's something different. I don't even know what that's that. Okay. Where the heck did that other one go to? You know, I should have been more organized, but I wasn't, so. Okay, so this one here, I kind of just stopped it. But if you look close enough, there's some stitches that kind of pop out. It might be still hard to see on this, but this is also the 2-step stitch. Again, I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it. And I was thinking about using that for like a baby blanket as well. I like to make baby blankets, hats, and scarves. I do a little bit of clothing, like cardigans, which reminds me, I'll have to tell you this at the end. There's that. Alright. And then, what was I going to say? I don't even know anymore. Oh, where the heck is that other one at? There it is. Okay, one more. So, I did this one. Was this also the 2-step? I think this was also the 2-step, but I added a border to it. Let me see. This was a different pattern, and I don't remember which one it was. And then I added a border to it to help, like, you know, look a little bit better. I want to say this was my first attempt at the 2-step stitch, and this was the result. Now, I know the corners are bad because they're not rounded properly, but this gives you an idea of another way that it can look as well. So I did this one first. This was my first one. And I know, you can comment in the bottom that this isn't, you know, perfectly squared off, and I know that. But I think what I needed to do was, like, slip stitch into the corner and do a regular corner, and then start back up with the special stitch on the edges. Which I like the stitch. But it just I didn't do the corners right. And I'm not going to pull it apart because it's trial and error for me. And I found this in my Crochet Stitch Bible. So, and actually, is that yeah, that's the top. That's the top. And I do that little trick when you're trying to work a square, is you fold it like a triangle, and when you cover up the triangle, then it's done. And it does match up with everything. It may not be a perfect square, but that's how I measure. Just make sure that I don't make it too tall. Otherwise, then you got a rectangle. But that's what I have been working on. My mother-in-law's doctor's appointments have started to calm down a little bit for right now, but that doesn't mean they won't pick back up again. Monday we have to go see her kidney specialist and see how those are doing, see if they've gotten any worse or about the same. Or so I'm going to try to, like I said, I'm going to try to get this pattern perfected a little bit more, worked on a little bit more, because I either missed a stitch when I was skipping stitches or something to where it didn't end right. No, that's not the right way. It didn't end right. And I'm also trying to figure out if I should change on how I end the row and start the next one. So, but that is going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been working on. I am also still working on well, I'm going to say it's going to be a baby blanket. I'm still working on my hooks and needles pattern, and when that's done, I'll show it to you guys. And I think that pattern is going to be probably the pattern I use maybe for this year's Christmas gifts. So if that gives you any idea which one I did, kudos to you, because I'm trying to keep it a secret until I show you guys what I made. If there's any kind of pattern that you're looking for, that you want to learn, and you haven't found it anywhere, you can ask me. I can try to find it. Doesn't mean I will, but I can always try. And I'll try to keep you guys more up to date on what I'm working on. Like I said, I prefer hats, scarves, and baby blankets. I know that when I first started crocheting, I overwhelmed myself with bigger blankets, and that's not, I'm not doing that anymore unless we get a family member somehow, and I need to make another big size blanket, because that took a lot out of me. And I understand why a lot of people don't like making those big blankets. They take a lot of time, and they take a lot of dedication to have the crochet, I guess you could say, crochet energy to do it, because I think I'm still reeling from that, and that's why I'm taking so much longer to crochet even the simplest things, like the one that I'm doing from the Hooks and Needles box. I still have to work on a cat bed or something for my nephew's cat, because she loves sleeping inside his sweaters, and I got some yarn from Yarn Inspirations that I didn't order, and they didn't ask for it back, so I'm going to use that yarn to make her something for her to lay in when she's in his computer room, when he's in there, instead of his sweaters, because that's a lot of cat hair on something. And he hasn't been wearing them because she actually gets inside the sweater and lays there. And the stuff that I got kind of reminds me of like the fleece from the inside of a sweater, that feeling. So I'm going to make her something. And then I got to really figure out what I'm going to do this year for Christmas. I still have ornaments. I still have the stuff to go with that. But I don't know if I want to make all those this year or not. Or if I want to make that and what I'm doing with the Hooks and Needles box, only with different yarn. Because I'm not going to use that yarn for my family. My mom, maybe, and maybe my brother, and maybe my oldest sister, but the younger sister, she's older than me, but she's the youngest, so she's the second oldest sibling. And then of course I've got my nieces and nephews and all that, so I don't know what I'm going to do for Christmas this year, but I need to work on it soon, because that'll be here before we know it. It's already almost, next week is the middle of August already. So time is flying, and not much time to do everything everybody wants to do in it. Because I would love to be able to finish that blanket that I've been working on, but because of the repeat on it, I have to really pay attention because it's like a 3-row repeat. I think it's a 3-row repeat. I don't have it in here with me, but it's it's more than 2 rows of a repeat. I think it's 3 because the ends are a little different on each time you go, and I have to actually refer back to the book when I'm done. I'm like, okay, I'm on to the next one. What do I need to do now? Because it's not like this one where I know if I end one way, I have to start the next row another way. I almost got there, and I needed a break from it. So that's why I started working on all these little other projects here. So, all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked what you've seen in today's video, leave me a comment. Let me know what you liked. Let me know if you would like the muffin / cupcake stitch pattern, and I will work on that. Again, I am working on the one here that I just started today. Again, I have to go back to the drawing board and see what stitch, if I missed a stitch, if that was the right stitch count that I started with, all that stuff. And when I do get that figured out, I will show you guys what it looks like and get a tutorial out for you as well. All right. Again, if you like today's content, if you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe and then the notification bell so you're always aware of when I put out new content. Until next time, I hope you all stay safe and stay crafty and stay cool if you're in the hot areas. Bye-bye.